you can be the catalyst of changing generational patterns. And all because you just chose to make simple habits to take care of the body that God has given us so that you can do and minister all that God wants you to do on this side of heaven. Is it hard to make healthy food choices and find time to exercise because you're too busy? Welcome to Self-Care for Busy Moms. I'm your host, Susan. That was me, overwhelmed with my kids' schedules, running things smoothly and ignoring the stress that was affecting my body. But then I found ways to bring myself back to health with food, exercise, and Christ. I can't wait to share them with you too. Get your step counter and remember the sunscreen. It's time to get started on your self-care. Hello, my friend. Let me tell you a quick story. Right after my high school graduation, I remember my mom had bought me a pass to a tiny neighborhood gym that had just opened up. It was by her work, and I remember it was 2 rows of machines, one on the left side and one on the right side, and my task was to go through each and every machine on the left-hand side, and then I would go over to the right-hand side walls and go through all the machines on that wall. And when I'd done all of those machines, I was done with my workout. And I believe one side did my lower body, the other side did my upper body. And that was my first introduction to a gym. And it was so fascinating for me because I was never a fitness buff. In high school, I never did any sports. During PE, I barely hung in there. I didn't know anything about exercising. So really, this was my first exposure to health and fitness. And I grew to love going to the gym. Honestly, I've been going to the gym since then, on and off, and right now on, and it's my whole family that goes to the gym, sometimes together, sometimes we just go when we have time individually. But there was a significant chunk of time when going to the gym was just not possible for me. There were various reasons, whether it was time or money, childcare. Back then, it was kind of limited. And in that season, I had workarounds that worked for my season in life that helped me to stay fit. So do you remember there used to be workout CDs? I would borrow them from the library. Maybe I bought one for Pilates, and I would use that to work out at home. I would say that the way I work out now is vastly different than when I was in my 20s and 30s. But the practice of exercising regularly really started after my mom had purchased that gym pass way back after high school graduation. That was many years ago for me. So you never know the impact that you can make in your child's life, not just in their teens, but in their 20s, 30s, and beyond. So here is how I take 4 strategies and use it to establish some sort of exercise routine for my life that flexes with the changing schedules, especially with my children's extracurricular activities or sports schedules or whatnot. So the first strategy I use is to habit stack some sort of exercise or some form of exercise in my morning and evening routines. So my morning and evening routines would be the bookends of my day. And if I can get my absolute minimum amount of exercise already worked into the bookends of my day, any additional exercise that I get in during the day would be a bonus to me. You might be wondering, why bother habit stack your exercise into your morning or bedtime routine? Well, if you do this, you don't have to think about it. It's baked into your schedule, and it's something that you've already planned to do already. So it's one less thing to really think about. And if an emergency comes up, or I can't find time to do my run or my walk during the day, and my schedule gets completely blown up because there's an emergency with my child and I have to go into school and pick them up because of an emergency situation, I can still feel great knowing that I got my abs and my arms and my stretches worked in by the end of the day. So how I start a habit for this is to do a very easy exercise routine right after I brush my teeth. I know that I will for sure brush my teeth every morning and evening, so this is going to be a great anchor for me to tie a new habit that's linked to an existing one that I do. So this will help me stay consistent. I know, because I've had to redo this so many times, especially after going away on a trip and we had such a great vacation and all of my habits have just kind of gone to the wayside. And then I come back home and it's like a reset. Okay, let's just get back into resetting some of the habits that I want to implement. So I've done this fairly regularly whenever we're traveling or whenever my old habits seem to fall off and then I need a reset. This is what I would basically do. So after brushing my teeth and washing up, I will start off with 5 push-ups because I know that that's something that I can do without any mental barrier. And I'll do that for several days. Then I'll increase that number over a period of time. So I increase it in increments of 5. So I'll increase it in increments of 5 for a period of time until I get to a point where, it's not too hard, but it's definitely challenging me, but not too easy. Then I'll just keep it at that level until it gets easy, and then I'll increase it again. So that's just my process of stacking a habit to what I normally do whenever I need a reset. Now, how would that look for you? And what can you incorporate into your bookend routines? If a full push-up is too much, no worries. You just start out where you can. So if it's from your knees, that's all good. We all can start out from where we are at. But if you're a fitness buff and push-ups are way too easy, especially just 5 push-ups, maybe you can challenge yourself and do burpee push-ups or planks or jumping jacks, or you might want to go for a run or a walk. Whatever your fitness level is, go with it and don't challenge too hard at this point, because you just want to start a habit and a routine. And in order for that to happen, you don't want to have a high mental barrier to be able to do it on a consistent basis. For me, I find it very difficult to just go diving right in first thing in the morning to do jumping jacks and to do some serious cardio workout at this time in my life. I remember there was a time when I would just literally jump out of bed and just do my run. But these days I'm finding that I just need to ease into my days. So I save my jumping for later in the day, and I'll share that with you as we go through my different strategies. So the second strategy I've used is to do micro workouts throughout the day. Now, what's a micro workout? Now, these are 5 to 10 minute bursts of exercise that fit into gaps in your schedule. There's so many resources online out there on YouTube, on the web. There are fitness apps that give you all sorts of 5 to 10 minute quick workouts. I'm not going to dive into that, but what I will discuss is how we can be able to incorporate these micro workouts throughout the day. For me, there was a season in my life when I was recovering from a shoulder injury, and the level of physical therapy that was involved, that was required for me to heal, meant that I was literally doing micro workouts throughout the whole day to get in all of the prescribed exercises for my healing. In between my laundries, in between my dishes, in between all the home chores that I had, pickups, drop-offs. So I was literally, for a season of 6 months, doing micro workouts in any gaps that I had. And it took about 6 months of constant physical therapy to get to a point of healing. But this also taught me a lesson to really pay attention to my body and to not push beyond what my body can handle. So please always listen to your body. Take care of your vessel, the body that God has given you. So why is micro workouts important? Why should we even bother doing it? Well, this really helps to establish a daily exercise routine that's really flexible to your schedule. If you're going to add up all the cumulative micro workouts that you do in one day, it can equate to a full workout that you would have done at a gym. So if by incorporating every open gap that we have in our schedule, you're going to be able to get so much done, so much in your daily exercise that will bless you long term for your health and for strength. And that's what we're looking for, aren't we? We're looking for long term health and looking to establish lifelong patterns for our health so that we can pour into our families and bless them. Do you know that there is great things that God has for you, that He wants you to speak into your children's lives, not just when they're young, but when they're old, and into your grandchildren's lives as they're growing up and growing older? You can be the catalyst of changing generational patterns, and all because you just chose to make simple habits to take care of the body that God has given us so that you can do and minister all that God wants you to do on this side of heaven. So how will this look for you? How could you start this? A fun way that I've been incorporating micro workouts is to hop onto my mini trampoline. I'm telling you, even 5 minutes on my trampoline works up a really nice sweat. Plus, I feel like a kid again. What was your favorite recess activity when you were a kid? The swing was my favorite playground activity as a kid. Actually, I love anything where I can feel some wind on my face. This would include biking as well. Well, the trampoline, I feel the wind all over me as I'm jumping up and down, and it's so fun. If you don't have a trampoline in the backyard, or you don't plan to get a mini trampoline, no worries, no problem at all. There are so many countless other options that you don't need to get a trampoline. You don't even need any equipment or tools. So if you're working from home, or if you're a stay-at-home mom, you could do 5 to 10 minute micro workouts throughout the day at home without any equipment, using your own body weight. Now, if you're working full-time or part-time outside of the house, there are mobility exercises that you can find that you can fit in during your lunch or during your break. You could set a timer and do jumping jacks for a minute, do squats for another minute, lunge jumps, or a couple of other exercise moves for another minute each. So if you do like 5, that takes you to 5 minutes already. Another option that I've done is to set a timer to do 30 seconds of one exercise, and then I take a 15-second break, and then I'll do 30 seconds of another movement, and then take another 15 seconds off. And you keep doing that. So if you're doing 7 exercise moves using this format, that'll take you a little over 5 minutes. So just summarizing that last point, if you do 7 exercise moves, doing each move for 30 seconds, and then taking a 15-second break in between those moves, will take you a little over 5 minutes to complete. Now, the third strategy that I really enjoy implementing is to take movement breaks or just to embrace opportunities to be active. So, what this means is that I really try to find ways to add physical activity into my daily tasks like walking or biking, if it's for errands, or for example, if I'm going grocery shopping, I will park a little further away. I can take the stairs instead of the elevators. I also have converted my laptop to be more on a standing table. It's not actually a standing desk, but I've just elevated things and stacked things so that I could stand and still use my laptop. Now, should we even bother doing this, and does it even help? Well, it certainly gets the body moving, and that's the whole point. We just want to find opportunities and embrace those opportunities to get moving and getting the steps that we need for each day. So, how could you do this in your life and with your schedule? Could you perhaps convert your laptop to a standing desk? I really like to have a nice standing pad to relieve my leg fatigue when I'm standing working on my laptop for long stretches of time. I will also gently stretch and move my legs and my spine as I'm working. So this is the advantage of being able to stand and work at my laptop. I also like to hop on my trampoline for 5 minutes whenever I need a break. So how can you add in movement breaks in your day? How would it look for you with your schedule? What sort of commuting can you replace with either walking or biking? Could we park a little further away when we do our grocery shopping or doing our errands? Just think of everything that you're doing throughout the day and find out opportunities and embrace those moments when you can make that choice to be able to add in more steps in the day and embrace those opportunities to just get your body moving because it's good for you. All right. Now, my fourth strategy, I've kept this one as my last point because it can be trickier to incorporate depending on your day and fitness level. It's high intensity interval training. This is a great solution if you've got the time and the ability to be able to add this in. So this would be 15 to 20 minute workout sessions about 3 to 4 times a week. So you don't want to be doing interval trainings, intense interval trainings every single day. You want to give your body rest days because it can really push your body to the upper limits of its ability. So some of the exercises that would go into these interval trainings would be burpees, jumping jacks, mountain climbers, lunge jumps, squat jumps. I mean, these are quick and they don't require any equipment, and you can do this anytime that you have as long as you've got 20 minutes to spare in your day. So for me, this was something that I did a lot earlier on. I would say more like 10 years ago. It's a great solution to gym workouts because no equipment is required and you get an amazing workout. You're using your body weight for the exercises, and this is just efficient with time. It really burns calories, and you're going to sweat, and your heart will be strengthened, and you're going to feel so good after that. You're going to maybe even release some of the stress in your life, or in my life, that's what it did. One thing to note is that in my research, I didn't know this. Interval training improves glucose metabolism and insulin sensitivity, thereby reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes. That was something new that I learned. Anyway, the reason why I'm putting this as my last point is because, as I said earlier, it can be so intense. It should not be done every day. Think along the lines of 3 times a week just to prevent burnout or injury. By the way, this is how I got my shoulder injured, when I was just going all out. And my motto was, if I don't feel the pain, I'm not pushing hard enough. I have since really changed my mantra about that. So please listen to your body. Do not push your body more than it really can handle. So it will strengthen if you are consistent in doing the exercises to what your body can handle, and it will strengthen, and you can increase it slowly and gradually. So if you're an advanced fitness buff and this is something that you're very familiar with, you can challenge yourself and find those intense interval HIIT workouts that are readily available online, and they're on many fitness websites and apps. But if you're a beginner and this is all sounding new to you, please start slow with 1 to 2 sessions per week. You can also do these as low impact exercises by removing the jumping for many of the exercises. Now, you want to practice and focus on correct form and technique. I cannot emphasize this enough. This will help prevent injuries. So if you need to Google or YouTube the moves so you can see a demonstration of how the exercises need to be done correctly, please do so. My final point is to avoid an injury. Prevention is so important. You definitely want to modify as you need to, either reduce the intensity by slowing the movements and shortening the intervals, or you could choose a low impact option. So how does this look for you? Remember to exercise safely and to practice correct form. Please follow the correct forms as demonstrated online through YouTube or other fitness websites. So to summarize the 4 different ways that I have used to establish a daily routine or daily exercise routine that's flexible to my busy schedule and that could be flexible to your busy schedule is: number 1, to habit stack some form of exercise to your morning and bedtime routine. Number 2, do micro workouts throughout the day. Number 3, take movement breaks or embrace the opportunity to be active. And the 4th option is to do intense interval training at home. So out of all these 4 options, what is the one thing that you could do today? Is there something that you could do that's simple and easy that you could stack onto an existing habit? Well, that would be habit stacking. What could it stack to? Or maybe you want to challenge yourself and find opportunities to do micro workouts throughout the day. Remember, it's just very small 5-10 minute quick movements, and not even quick high intense, but just movements, just getting your body moving. Or you could just take opportunities to park further away from whenever you're doing your errands. Whatever it is that you have for your day, embrace the opportunity that you can move your body. If you need to set up a timer to remind yourself to get up and do a quick walk around the house, if you need to, do that. We just want to be able to keep our bodies moving, find a way to incorporate in an easy way so that you can have long-term strength, long-term health and wellness, so that your vessel, your body that God has given to you will serve you well all the days of your life on this earth. Hey Mama, thank you for listening to the end. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you bless another mom who's looking for simple routines to feel healthy again? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. I'm always so encouraged to know that this podcast is helping you. Together, we can encourage one another for long-term health and strength because it matters to our families and for future generations to come. I so appreciate your kindness. God bless.